Am I too loud? Too soft? Just right? Just right, you said? Okay. Good afternoon and welcome to the awards luncheon. This is, as we've said at a couple other sessions, the 14th annual conference. For 13 years, we were known as the Michigan Conference on Affordable Housing. But those of us on the planning committee and all of you in the room know that the work all of us do is well beyond housing. Housing is an important piece of what we do, but as we try to deal with foreclosures and homelessness and jobs that aren't here and all the other things that have been going on in Michigan, we've all realized over the years that community development is much broader than housing. And in recognition of that, the planning committee this year decided to change the name to reflect that broader mission that we've always all been working on. So going forward, we are now known as the Building Michigan Communities Conference. You will have a lot of opportunities to provide evaluations in the sessions after the conference, and we encourage you to do so. And please let us know what you think about the sessions. We've made a lot of changes this year, both in format and in some cases in content, and we'd like to hear what you guys think. But today, at lunch, is the opportunity for all of us to honor a number of folks who go well beyond, above and beyond the call of duty to make all of our lives better. These are folks that have inspired all of us. They are critical to what we do, and this is our chance to honor them. But first, I'd like to ask Jason from PNC to come up. They're one of our sponsors, and the sponsors are part of what makes this conference work. They're part of what makes it affordable for all of us to attend. And so I'd like Jason, if you would, to come up and say just a few words.
Thanks, Jess. Good afternoon. I'm Jason Paulatier, the Market Manager for Community Development Banking for PNC Bank here in the state of Michigan. And I'm glad to be here with you today. PNC just celebrated the 2-year anniversary of our launch of the PNC brand here in Michigan. We have accomplished a great deal over the past 24 months, but nothing has been more important than building strong relationships with relationships and trust in the communities that we serve throughout the state of Michigan. PNC Chairman Jim Rohr believes that no business can succeed if its communities are not well positioned for future growth and success. That's why at PNC we devote resources and human capital to seed ideas, foster development initiatives, and support nonprofit organizations. We are proud of the work that we do in our communities and strive to play our part in the long-term viability of each of the markets in which we operate. Through the PNC Community Development Banking Group, we offer a number of programs designed to help sustain and revitalize neighborhoods with a focus on improving the quality of life and housing in for our low and moderate income residents. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge our team from PNC. We've got with us here today the illustrious Michael Taylor. And when I say your name, if you could stand. We've also got with us Bill Corrie, who's our community consultant for Southeast Michigan. And again, when I say your name, please stand. We have Kathy Moore, who's our community consultant for Greater Michigan. We also have Renee Kent, who's our development advisor for the state of Michigan. Also with us is Peter Kaplan, who's with our tax credit investment group, and he focuses primarily on low-income housing tax credit projects. Also with us are a couple of very local representatives, Sue Schaefer, who manages our branch just down the street here. And last but not least, we have Jen Morris, who is our Client and Community Relations Manager here in the Lansing region. Thank you, guys. PNC community development activities fall into 4 main categories. Those are affordable housing, financial education, revitalization and stabilization of LMI areas, and economic development. And despite the burst of the housing bubble, homeownership remains a key part of the American dream. PNC sponsors homebuyer education programs to prepare prospective home purchasers and equip them for success in their homeownership goals. PNC is committed to helping our customers obtain their dream as well as sustain homeownership. Financial education is a key part of PNC Bank's commitment to its communities. PNC Community Development Banking offers free financial education presented by our staff, our branch personnel, and local nonprofit partners. PNC's foundation checking, which we've dubbed as the second chance checking, and money management classes are designed for people who have either never had a bank account or are considered the unbanked, right, and folks who may have had some trouble with a bank account in the past. And so that's why we call it our second chance checking account. And we demonstrate our support for the community in other ways. For example, the PNC Foundation invested $68.9 million in local communities in 2011. The foundation, go ahead. The PNC Foundation forms partnerships with nonprofit organizations to advance mutual objectives driven by 2 priorities: early childhood education and community and economic development. PNC's signature philanthropic program, PNC Grow Up Great, is a $350 million multi-year school readiness initiative that has benefited more than 1.5 million at-risk children through grants, advocacy, volunteerism, and awareness. PNC is also committed to environmentally friendly business practices. In fact, PNC has more newly constructed LEED certified facilities than any country or than any company, on earth. With roots in commercial banking that date back to the 1800s, PNC Bank has grown to become one of the leading financial services organizations in the country. Through the years, we never forget that our success is closely tied to the health and vibrancy of the communities we serve. Please make sure in some of your bags, not in all of them, in some of your bags, there is a coupon. So please fill out that coupon and bring it to our booth. We have a special gift for you. And if you have a project that you're working on, please stop by and talk to us to see if there's ways, and let us figure out if there's ways that we can help you accomplish that project. Thank you.
It's now time for the awards. We're doing something new this year. We are doing a mix of awards that some are going to be video, some will be done the way we've done in past years. So this is something new, some kind of an experiment. So please give us your feedback afterwards and let you know what you think. At this time, the first 2 awards will be from CEDAM, the Community Economic Development Association of Michigan. And I'd like to ask at this time for Jamie Schreiner-Hooper, the Executive Director of CEDAM, and Gail Ross, Executive Director of the Hancock Housing Commission, to make their way to the stage.
An Advocate of the Year award to the organization or person who has done the most to advance the impact of community economic development in Michigan. The winner of this year's award is a person whose indelible spirit and passion for safe, affordable, accessible housing has brought joy to the lives of many. Congratulations, Gail Ross, Executive Director of the Hancock Housing Commission. Through tremendous perseverance and many hours of hard work, Gail and the Hancock Housing Commission opened the doors of Quincy Haven Apartments in August 2011. These beautiful apartments are a dream come true for those who have disabilities, were formerly homeless, or are survivors of domestic violence. Gail is a hero to her community, and so I speak not only on CEDAM's behalf, but also on behalf of Quincy Haven's tenants when I say we applaud Gail for everything she has done, and we are honored to name her as the 2012 CED Advocate of the Year. It is my distinct honor and pleasure to award Gail Ross as our CED Advocate of the Year.
I'd like to thank Jamie and the CEDAM staff and all my friends sitting at the table with me today. Hi, John. I'm very honored to get this. Those of you that know me, it's been a little bit of a struggle with the cancer thing and that the last couple of years. But so I can get off this soapbox about crying, I have to tell you this, and I never thought I'd tell this many people. But when I got diagnosed with cancer the first time, you know, you make the bucket list. And I made my bucket list, and it's all good things. And I have fulfilled some of those things. But there's one thing I didn't have on the bucket list, and I should have had it. If you make a bucket list, you put all good things on there. Well, last night I came out of Tropo after a nice event, had a glass of wine with my friends, and I went to the restroom and came out after to make my way back to Capital City Grill. And I had this big, long, white sheet of toilet paper coming out of the back of me. It was clean because when I scooped my pants out, I must have caught it, so the bad stuff was gone. So thank God there was this woman, and I don't know if she's sitting here. You are my new best friend. She said, ma'am, ma'am, and I was going down the steps out of Tropo, and there's the Capitol, and I love looking at the Capitol and all its glory, and I've got this big white toilet paper hanging out my rear end. She said, you got toilet, so I said, thank you, and I immediately took it off. And I thought how embarrassed I felt. And I thought, you know what, that's never happened to me before, and that should have been on my bucket list, because I'm just a person, and those things happen. But thank you, everybody, for all your support. My little town in Hancock, Michigan, I don't know if all of you know where that is, and I'm gonna do it. Okay. Way the heck up here. I love it. My hometown. And the Quincy Haven project is beautiful. If you ever get an opportunity to come up to that area, I'd be more than happy to show you and proud to show you. The residents are thriving. They seem very happy. The supportive services philosophy is working in the program, and I'm very happy about that. So if God is willing, I plan on doing more and as much as I can while I'm here on the earth. Thank you so much, CEDAM.
I would like to ask Scott Allen Davis from Vanguard CDC if he could make his way to the podium.
The Innovator of the Year Award is presented annually to recognize an inventive CEDAM member who has enlightened the community economic development field with new programming, best practices, or policy leadership. It would be impossible to describe all that this year's winner, Vanguard CDC, accomplishes in Detroit's North End. Their popular weekly telephone service calls residents with community events and news. Vanguard's youth program teaches kids how to run their own businesses through real-world experiences. Another program helps formerly incarcerated men and women connect to their community again. 20 of these individuals are hired as AmeriCorps members for the Get It Done team, which helps neighbors and seniors. These exemplary programs serve as models for nonprofits throughout the state. CEDAM is pleased to recognize Vanguard CDC as the 2012 Innovator of the Year.
And again, on behalf of CEDAM, it is my very distinct pleasure to award Vanguard CDC and Scott Allen Davis as our Innovator of the Year.
On behalf of the entire Vanguard family, our awesome board, and our team members at Vanguard, we want to thank CEDAM. And this is a very great honor for us because Vanguard means to stand in the gap, and we work very hard to do such. And in this industry in 2012, in order to make impact and to make a difference, you have to be innovative. And so for people to see that the work that we're doing is innovative is awesome when we try very hard to serve people with dignity and with honor and to lift them and to make sure that they have a better way. And so thank you so much to all of our partners and supporters over our 18 years. Just thank you for what we've been able to do and the support you've given. And again, thank you, CEDAM.
Our next award is the Corrie Bair Building Inclusive Communities Award. I'd like to ask Amy Stark and Cheryl Trometer to please come to the stage.
It's my great honor to present this year's Corrie Bair Inclusive Communities Award to Cheryl Trometer, Grants Manager at the Michigan Developmental Disabilities Council. Corrie Bair was an employee of ours for many years. She embodied the MDRC vision of liberty and access for all in everything she did. She was so optimistic about the possibilities of full accessibility and inclusion that we called her vision Corrie's World. When she died from cancer, we tried to find a fitting remembrance and memorial for her vision, and that effort led to the creation of the Building Inclusive Communities Award. Cheryl is a truly worthy recipient of the award, and I know that Corrie would be glad to see her receive it. Cheryl has been a tireless advocate for people with disabilities for decades and has worked hard to continue the realization of full inclusion. Cheryl clearly sees a future where all of us belong in a supportive and inclusive community and where we all have what we need to live in the housing of our choice. Her integrity is impeccable, and her tireless commitment supports the work of all disability community housing advocates. People with disabilities are now accessing inclusive housing of their choice because of Cheryl's leadership and support. Finally, I want to thank Cheryl for her continued support of my work and wish her well in the years to come in working for people with disabilities in Michigan.
On behalf of the Michigan Disability Rights Coalition and the Michigan Disability Housing Work Group, it is my deep honor to present this award, the Corrie Bair Building Inclusive Communities Award, to Cheryl Trometer.
I am so thrilled about this, I hardly know what to say, but as my colleagues have already guessed, I'm going to make a try at it. I want to thank Norm Delisle and the Michigan Disability Rights Coalition for granting the award, Paul Eklund and the Michigan Disability Housing Work Group for the nomination, and especially Amy Sturk and Glenn Ashley, who initiated the nomination. Of course, I also need to thank the Michigan Developmental Disabilities Council because somehow and for some reason, they still pay me to come in and pursue my passions every day. And that's a very rare kind of job to have. I also am very grateful for the life of the amazing Corrie Bair, who taught us that inclusion is not just the right thing to do, it's also absolutely necessary. And in that spirit, we have tried to move forward. When I began this journey in the 1970s, you all knew I was going to use that phrase, didn't you? We thought that what we were after was to get a certain limited number of people out of state institutions and into group homes in the community. Since then, people with disabilities have demanded more, and advocates like Corrie Bair have helped us to understand that we have to expand that vision exponentially. And now we see people with all kinds of developmental disabilities working and living alongside of us and pursuing the lives that they dream of, and not the ones that their service providers decide for them. Increasingly, people with developmental disabilities want exactly the same choices and options that the rest of us have, and we're learning that they have the same rights that we do as well. I'm especially pleased today to share that dream and that ambition with those of you in the community development field, and who are dedicated to building our Michigan communities. We're working toward common ends, and your work holds the key to overcoming some of the most serious barriers to full community inclusion for people with developmental disabilities. Many, even most, people with disabilities of any kind live in poverty. So affordable housing is a barrier for everyone in poverty, and many of you are already advocating for increased housing subsidies and more affordable housing for individuals and families with low incomes. I can only urge you on in that and join your efforts whenever I can. Full accessibility, especially wheelchair accessibility, is tougher. There's skepticism, I know, in the construction business, and especially about the costs of accessible housing. Full inclusion, the ability to live in an accessible home, to visit friends and neighbors freely, and to take part in community activities depends on widespread use of universal design. That's what we need to pursue our goal of full inclusion for people with disabilities. It is the right thing to do, and it's the only way to make our communities fully inclusive. The costs are often much lower than skeptics realize, and the market will soon demand it, because we of the baby boom are coming into the time of our lives when one hard fall can mean a hip fracture and a wheelchair. And believe me, none of us plan to spend our senior years in nursing homes. We're going to want our homes to be accessible. I hope that you will come on board and help us make universal design the wave of the future. I know many of you are working with us on that, and I thank you. Segregation is also a barrier to full inclusion. None of us want to live in disability ghettos, poverty ghettos. There seem to be some people who want to live in senior ghettos, but I don't even understand that one. But what we need from affordable housing and from federally funded housing is scattered site development to assure that we're not building mini institutions and 21st century ghettos that will breed and nurture all of the same problems of abuse, neglect, and exploitation that we've been working to eliminate for all these years. So thank you for all the important work you do. It wouldn't be possible to do my work without the community development community and the affordable housing community Thank you very much, and thank you all for the beautiful award.
The Julie Sandorf Award is being presented by the Corporation for Supportive Housing. I'd like to ask Lisa Chapman and Terry Duran to please come to the stage.
The Julie Sandorf Award was established in honor of Corporation for Supportive Housing's founder and first president to recognize tenants who demonstrate leadership in supportive housing. Terry Durian of Kalamazoo is being recognized as the 2012 Julie Sandorf Award winner for her leadership, advocacy, peer support, and mentoring activities. Terry Durian had lived in Kalamazoo's Rickman House since 2003, when all Rickman House tenants had to relocate so the building could undergo major renovations. Terry took action to pull together several support groups to help her fellow tenants cope with the move. Terry noticed that some tenants were coming to support groups because they were hungry and new snacks would be served. She now makes weekly donations from her own personal resources to provide items for the hungry drawer, where residents can stop when they are hungry and out of food. Terry helps others live with autonomy, independence, and dignity within the Kalamazoo supportive housing community. Corporation for Supportive Housing is pleased to recognize Terry Durian as the 2012 Julie Sandorf Award winner. Congratulations.
It is my pleasure and honor to present the 2012 Julie Sandorf Award to Terry Durian of Kalamazoo.
Thank you very much.
At this time, I'd like to welcome Trish Lewis to the stage. Trish is from the Federal Home Loan Bank of Indianapolis, and she will be presenting the Community Spirit Award. I'd also like Bernard Williams to come to the stage as well.
The Federal Home Loan Bank of Indianapolis is proud to present the 2012 Michigan Community Spirit Award to Bernie Williams, CEO of Wannegas Credit Union in Saginaw. We recognize his outstanding dedication to affordable housing and community economic development. Bernie was nominated by the Saginaw Habitat for Humanity, who noted that he has successfully dedicated his professional life to the financial industry. Through partnership with FHLBI Affordable Housing Programs, Bernie has helped Wannegas members and local residents obtain over $3 million in grant funding, benefiting nearly 300 households. Wannegas sponsored competitive AHP applications, awarding the post-secondary transitional living facility project and funding for the Saginaw Habitat to rehab 12 foreclosed homes. Relationships with financial institutions create the necessary stability to allow residents to transform their lives. Bernie's belief in the philosophy of people helping people has guided him to be a strong voice in building Michigan communities.
On behalf of the Federal Home Loan Bank of Indianapolis, I am pleased to present Bernie Williams with the 2012 Community Spirit Award. Thank you, Bernie.
Thanks a lot, Trish. You know, it's great coming to a place in Michigan with everyone here that gives everyone in this room inspiration to go back to their communities and help people out. I'd like to thank some people who inspire me every day. The first is my wife, Monica Williams. Wannegas Credit Union, I'm sure y'all are doing wordplay. Wannegas is Saginaw, spelled backwards. Very memorable. And we got some memorable team members from the Wannegas Credit Union: Teresa Santana, Lisa Shoemaker, Tammy O'Leary, and Linda. And the other group that inspires me and our team at Wannegas is our friends from the Federal Home Loan Bank of Indianapolis. We were driving here today. Every time we call the staff at Federal Home Loan Bank, they inspire us to help people in our community. And I'd like to thank Trish, Rana, Becky, Marjorie, Shannon, and the rest of the Federal Home Loan Bank team of just inspiring us. So good luck in your community, guys. If you're ever in South Saginaw City, I hope you come and visit us at Wanna-Gas Credit Union. Thank you.
I'd now like to introduce Sandy Pearson of Habitat Michigan to the podium to introduce the 2012 Affiliate of the Year. I'd like to ask that Barbara Ernsberger from the Blue Water Habitat for Humanity come up with her.
Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to recognize Habitat for Humanity of Michigan's Affiliate of the Year, Blue Water Habitat for Humanity. Serving both St. Clair and Sanilac County, Blue Water has continuously improved and expanded its reach by strengthening partnerships and expanding their housing services and products. Working with over 400 volunteers last year, Blue Water contributed over 30,000 hours on various projects, including board and committee work, restore, construction, deconstruction, and advocacy work. Their 2011 service to homeowner families included the launch of their homeschool program, which provides selected families with tools to aid in their success as homeowners. Blue Water Habitat regularly involves local legislators in their work and participated in last summer's Legislators Building Communities initiative by assisting the City of Port Huron with 3 blighted properties. Blue Water is Affiliate of the Year for all of these reasons and so many more. My sincere congratulations to the Blue Water Habitat for Humanity. On behalf of Habitat for Humanity in Michigan's 76 affiliates, our network across the state, our 46 restores, and on behalf of our boards of directors, I am so pleased to present this award to the Executive Director, Barbara Ernsberger of our Blue Water Habitat for Humanity.
Wow, there's a lot of you out there. I'm really nervous. There's so many things I could say, but I'm going to cut it really short. I'm going to say thank you so much. I'm so honored. We were chosen by our peers to be Affiliate of the Year, and that is a great honor. I know from the families we serve, I say thank you. It takes all of you and more to provide affordable housing solutions for families. I can't say what it's like to be at a Habitat House dedication with a family and you get to hug them. That's the best part of my job. I get to hug these families when they get their new houses, and it is a true blessing that I also am able to get paid for the passion I have. So all I can say is thank you. We're truly honored.
We have several awards that are going to be done the old-fashioned way. I'd like to ask Jody Mercer if she could come up, and she'll be presenting the Michigan Homeownership Counselor Awards.
Well, I knew I was getting a little bit older, but I didn't ever think I'd fall in the old-fashioned way category. But thank you all today. The Michigan State Housing Development Authority's Homeownership Counseling Program recognizes the important role that counselors play in providing free counseling services to home buyers and homeowners throughout Michigan. In less than 2 short years, Laura Castone transitioned from a 15-year mortgage career to that of a housing counselor, providing the highest level of quality counseling services to hundreds of residents within Northwest Detroit and its surrounding communities. Her passion to serve others is the driving force behind her desire to continue to learn and to excel in her position as a senior-level counselor. Laura has successfully negotiated home retention options for more than 200 Detroit-based homeowners, and has helped improve the financial management skills and credit awareness of hundreds more. She has educated more than 100 aspiring first-time homeowners and prepared them to one day become proud homeowners. Laura Castone is a true champion among housing counselors, and her dedication is essential to maintaining and increasing the homeownership base within Southeast Michigan. It is our pleasure to recognize Laura Castone as MSHDA's Homeownership Counselor of the Year.
Thank you so much, MSHDA, for the award. Without your dedication, without your help, without the sincere help, email attention from my housing specialist, Sean Chapman, we couldn't have done it. I want to also thank my director, Felicia Turner, for providing the catalyst for me to be able to do exactly what it is that I do, as well as the other staff, Juanita Lamar and Shakita Smith, also a housing counselor at our agency. You know, it's these agencies, it's these individuals that provide the necessary help, the necessary assistance to be able to provide the dedication to so many homeowners facing foreclosure, needing financial assistance, just needing an overall education about the financial programs available to them. So again, I want to thank MSHDA so much for the award, as well as my agency for providing support. Thank you.
Okay, our next award is for Counseling Agency of the Year Award. And our program wouldn't be successful without the dedicated agencies that provide community-based services each and every day. Since its inception in 2005, the Center for Financial Health, which is fondly called the Center, has quickly become one of the most adept housing counseling agencies in mid-Michigan. The Center's mission is simple. They exist to help individuals and families build assets through homeownership by providing training and support that strengthens communities and helps people build brighter futures. Last year, the center served more than 700 households by helping homeowners avoid foreclosure and assisting new home buyers realize their goal of homeownership. As a nonprofit, the center relies on private and public grants to serve the community, but maintains operational standards like that of a for-profit business. This business model creates opportunity for a diversified funding stream, ensuring measurable outcomes for all the services provided. The center has perfected an efficient, professional, and client-focused model for delivering services, achieving success for its clients. The center prides itself on being a community-based organization. The housing counseling services they offer are free to anyone in need of their services. The impacts of homebuyer and financial education do not end with the individuals seeking the services. Helping individuals manage their credit and financial obligations has immeasurable benefits to their communities as a whole. With that said, and because of their outstanding commitment to MSHDA's Homeownership Counseling Program and the communities they serve, it's my pleasure to recognize the Center for Financial Health as MSHDA's Homeownership Counseling Agency of the Year.
Thank you, Jody, and thank you, MSHDA, for this opportunity. It is both a pleasure and an honor to accept this award on behalf of my team, which I've asked to join me here on stage because it is because of their efforts that we're here today presented with this award. From the vision of one of our co-founders, Adeline Metzler, to each of our team members' passion and desire for excellence that they perform through a daily basis. In addition to our partners and our community supporters who not only believe in but support the mission that we have to help individuals and families build assets and become financially capable through homeownership. And of course, thank you to our funders and the folks that make us financially stable to do what we do every day and to continue making an impact within our community. Thank you.
At this point, I'd like to ask Gary Heidel to come up, who will be presenting the MSHDA Awards for the MSHDA Community Art Contest. And following that, Gary will also be presenting several Duvernay Awards.
Well, it's all good to see you again. At this time, I would like to present the winners of the first annual MSHDA Community Art Contest. MSHDA partnered with the Bingham Elementary Bulldogs here in Lansing to participate in a pilot version of what we hope will be a statewide effort. The contest offered students from kindergarten to 5th grade a chance to submit artistic renditions of buildings from their community on the Michigan Avenue corridor. This was an opportunity to teach the students what it meant to be part of the community, and I must say that their artwork did a remarkable job of capturing their vision. If you go to the MSHDA booth, you will see that artwork. I would now like to ask the principal of Bingham Elementary, Ms. Lori Abbott-Smith, and her students to join me here on stage. Everyone, please join me in congratulating the winners. Each of the winners of the contest will receive a plaque and will have their artwork on display in the Lansing MSHDA building as well on the MSHDA Community Art Contest website. How you doing? Lori? And the winners are Damon Savage. Damon, where are you? Great, raise your hand. Selena Padilla, where's Selena? Andriana Doxey. Ruby Castillo. Brendan Patterson. Sang Nguyen. Anastasia Schultz. Ireland Fox. Beautiful name. And who's not with us is Hector Oval, who couldn't be with us today, but congratulations to all of you. It was really great artwork. And we would like to thank Bingham Elementary, who was just fabulous in this whole effort. Lori, it was a real undertaking for us to work with young people about for them to be aware of what's going on in their community. For this first annual Community Arts Contest, and let's give them one more hand. Thank you. You can go off that way. Power of Children. The Terrence R. Duvernay Award is named after Terry Duvernay, the former executive director of MSHDA. And by the way, Terry is the person who hired me at MSHDA. There are two parts to the award. One is the presentation annually to the person who best exemplifies Terry's values of helping people and commitment to affordable housing and community development. And Art of Leadership scholarships presented to young people who have graduated from the program. The award is reviewed by the Duvernay Award Committee, which consists of past award winners. That includes in order of when they were presented: Dr. Ken Benson of Habitat for Humanity, Jonathan Bradford from the Inner City Christian Federation, Linda Smith from Hughes Snapback, Noreen Keating from the Lighthouse of Oakland County, and they are here today, including Denny Sturdivant from Dwelling Place, Ron Callery, from Chippewa Lewis Mackinac Community Action Agency, Jean Kuthi, formerly on the Interfaith Trust Fund Board, which is now the Opportunity Resource Fund, Mel Washington from Phoenix Communities, and Mary Trucks, who's the Executive Director of 5CAP. Jim Logue and Mark McDaniel from the Great Lakes Capital Fund. And that's the award committee. You know, last year when we talked about this award, I asked people to raise their hands if they knew Terry, had worked with Terry, and I guess I was a little shocked how very few hands were raised. And then I asked who didn't know Terry, and lots of hands raised. And I guess, you know, it struck me at that time, and quite a few of us, that it has been many years since Terry has been with us, and the industry has grown and evolved. And part of that is, as you remember, on the first day of the conference, I asked, well, how many of you are first-time conference goers? And the whole room was lots of people. And I said, how many of you were here 14 years ago? And again, very few people raised their hands. Terry actually spoke at the very first conference. He was one of our keynote speakers, and at that time he was the deputy director at HUD. But this is someone who, for many of us, is a very important person. The room is filled today because of the industry that Terry had a lot to creating. He, just like George Washington, is the father of our country. Terry Duvernay is like the founder of the modern housing and community development industry in Michigan. And he has had a tremendous impact on this industry. And you can tell how important the impact was because his vision continues to evolve. And every executive director after Terry has kind of picked up that vision, made it their own, but it's still moving forward. It's what Jim Logue did when he came to MSHDA right after Terry Duvernay. I remember some of the first conversations we had, and it was still about how we work in communities, helping people, while still providing affordable housing. And it's been that way, and it's something that I've tried to continue as the executive director also. So this person has had a tremendous impact. What we wanted to do over the course of the last few months is to give you kind of a flavor of what the man looked like and some of the things that we've seen over the years, and especially from those who knew Terry well. So what we prepared for you to see is a video that we put together about Terry. So would we please roll the video?
I met Terry early on in my career, and Terry was, at that time, the executive director of MSHDA.
I never met a person in the entire time that I was at MSHDA, and then post-MSHDA after he left and went to HUD, that didn't say, oh, Terry Duvernay, with a huge smile on their face.
You couldn't go through an airport anywhere in the country without him running into somebody that would come up and say, Terry, how's it going?
The work that we do today is because Terry Duvernay was a champion for neighborhoods and affordable housing.
He is what epitomizes a truly inspirational leader, one that doesn't exist very much in society anymore.
In early to middle 1984, I decided that it would be very appropriate for us to see about some state participation in housing rehabilitation. I wrote a proposal to MSHDA that was promptly and soundly rejected. Not long after, I was able to get my proposal in front of Terry. And Terry said, just a minute, why did we turn that down? In no time, MSHDA changed its mind, and ICCF went on to rehabilitate 58 single-family houses, all because Terry believed in the possibility.
There's a saying that we have here, it's about the people, and those are the last words that Terry spoke to me before he passed away. It was down in Atlanta. We went out to lunch together, and we were complaining about work. And he turned around, and I was sitting in the back seat, and he turned around and said, "Mark," he said, "just remember, all those things are bad, but when you go back and you think, and you're doing this because it's about the people, you can do anything."
He's a very good cook. Absolutely.
Terry loved Michigan.
His poker games were pretty legendary.
It's very interesting. Here we are. Terry passed away now. It's been 12 years. And we're still talking about him like he's here. That just tells you what kind of person this was that you're still talking about like this.
The picture I received for the Terry Duvernay Award says "This is a Wonderful Life." And the picture shows Terry holding his hands up because it is a wonderful life.
For people who have forgotten Terry in the years since his passing, I'd only say to you that you missed an absolutely fantastic experience.
I have to give credit to CEDAM. They helped, they produced the video. They did a wonderful job. When I first saw it, boy, it brought tears to my eyes. I will tell you that in many ways we're trying to continue on with some of those things that were talked about in the video, especially the poker game. We still play poker, probably in one or two other venues, but and I have to admit, the last poker game, it was my downfall. It'll probably take me a few weeks to make that money back, but it is a lot of fun. When I was thinking about this, about Terry, and I was thinking about the conference yesterday and today, it made me think, in the unveiling of the My Place website, Terry would have been very proud. He would have saw that as truly investing in community, investing in place, because we were drawing in more partners to really be a part of making our communities competitive. But he also would have said, what was mentioned in the video, it's also about investing in people, because the work is about the people. And so he would continually remind us about the work we do in eliminating homelessness, helping people who have lost their homes through foreclosure, or providing affordable rental housing to low-income people, that's a big part of what we do as an industry and as a part of place making, because you need to both invest in place and invest in people to really make our communities strong. And it's nice that we continue to come together, we continue to do the work because of the vision that Terry had many, many years ago. What I'd like to do now is, as part of the first part of the Duvernay Award, is ask Mark McDaniel to come to the stage with the winners of the Art of Leadership Scholarship Program.
You guys want to come up, please?
That was hard to watch. That's the first I saw of it. He was a very special person to a lot of us, and I wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for the guiding hand and coaching and mentoring that he gave to me. That's absolutely true. You heard yesterday, with yesterday's speaker, one of our major points was about the importance of a mentor. That one person that comes into your life that sets a chain of events that has you go down a different path that you never expected was possible. That's what this award is about. That's what the Art of Leadership Foundation is about. Just about the time Terry passed, we got enthralled with the vision of Denise Stein, who's the executive director of the Our Leadership Foundation, who had a vision of the importance of mentoring and coaching and the power of that and the difference it could make in young kids' lives, basically starting in 6th grade, which is 6th grade is a point in most kids' lives where they're making choices about, do I go down the good road or I go down the bad road? And she had a vision that she wanted to make a difference at that point in those kids' lives and show them that there was a future, show them her vision of what that future could be. And it's very interesting, right after that, Terry's family wanted to have a legacy of Terry and what he was about. And one of those things through his foundation, the family said, we want to give scholarships to young people to go to college. And be able to give it to kids who were part of something that they could never maybe see that was possible. And so this tied in so well with the Art of Leadership Foundation and the program we've been supporting now for about 12 years, and the impact that that has had on so many kids. We have over 500 kids involved in the program now. We've had 100% graduation rate of all kids in our Detroit program in a school system where you have 25% graduation rate. It's the impact that this program is making. And this is so Terry, about giving back and supporting and mentoring. And so that's why we've created the scholarship program for graduates of the Art of Leadership program. Terry's family announced this was maybe 4 years ago, that that's what they wanted to do with the money that we had been putting in to the foundation. So this year we want to recognize our 4 graduates that competed for and qualified for the Duvernay Scholarship Awards this year. First, I'd like to introduce Bianca Taylor. Bianca?
Good afternoon. My name is Bianca Taylor. I have been in Art of Leadership for 4 years. The biggest impact that Art of Leadership has had on me is teaching me the importance of leadership in the community, as well as turning me into a better person that makes good decisions for myself and for my future. Because of Art of Leadership, I am better prepared to reach my goals regardless of the obstacles. This year, I will graduate from South Lake High School in St. Clair Shores, Michigan, and in the fall, I will go to Grand Valley State University, where I will study nursing. My personal life vision is a world in which everyone has peace, love, and happiness, where people can express themselves in a positive way without being judged. I plan to use my education to achieve my vision by better understanding the organization of good health and positive attitudes. Through my career in nursing, I desire to foster good self-esteem in people and help in the wellness of individuals all over the world. I promise to use this money to fulfill on my vision and put it into good use. I would like to thank everyone that has helped me to get to this point in Art of Leadership for this great opportunity. Now I would like to introduce my colleague, Antonio Jordan. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Antonio Jordan. I have been in Art of Leadership for 4 years. The biggest impact Art of Leadership has had on me is giving back to my community through volunteering, also the importance of education, setting goals, and working toward those goals. This year, I will graduate from Grosse Pointe North High School. And in the fall, I will go to Wayne State University, where I will study history. My personal life vision is to excel, get involved, and pay it forward by sharing what I've learned, what has been shared with me. I plan to use my education to achieve my vision by learning as much as I possibly can in college. In closing, I'd like to thank Art of Leadership for taking the time and teaching me so much and for making it fun, and to the Duvernay family for investing in my education. I promise to use this award to fulfill on my vision. Thank you. I would like to introduce my colleague, Eric Perry, to the stage.
Good afternoon. My name is Eric Perry. I've been in the Art of Leadership program for 7 years. The biggest impact of Art of Leadership had on me is opening my eyes to the world around me and learning to enjoy helping others. This year, I will graduate from Renaissance High School in Detroit, Michigan, and in the fall, I will go to Jackson State University, where I will study computer science. My personal life vision is a world when people can get the help they need to achieve their goals. I plan to use my education to achieve this vision by mentoring people that aspire to achieve the same goals as I once had and help them achieve their goals. I promise to use this award to pursue my life vision. And next is my colleague, Maya NJ. Thank you.
I decided to take one for the team and go last, so. Good afternoon, my name is Maya NJ. I've been with Art of Leadership for 3 years. The biggest impact that Art of Leadership has had on me is teaching me how to grow into a personal leader. I believe that in all of us lies the qualities and abilities of leadership, and they taught me how to bring out these qualities of an inspirational mover from the inside and let them show and shine on the outside. Art of Leadership taught me how to express the qualities of a good leader. This year, I will graduate from Henry Ford Academy High School in Dearborn, and in the fall, I will be attending Eastern Michigan University, where I will study communications with a concentration in public relations and a minor in journalism. In my personal life vision, we will live in a world where freedom is free to be expressed, and the views we have of each other and others will be more positive. I plan to use my education to achieve my vision by using journalism and my writing to inspire and capture people, initiate deeper thought, evoke emotion, and push the imagination. Thank you so much for assisting me in the pursuit of higher education. Thank you for the scholarship, to everyone in the Art of Leadership, and to everyone that helps or has helped with this foundation. You're all deeply appreciated. My colleagues and I promise to put our scholarship money to good use, do you proud, and make a difference. On behalf of me, Bianca, Eric, and Antonio, we would like to thank the Duvernay family for this amazing opportunity and outstanding support. Everyone is deeply appreciated, and thank you.
Isn't that incredible? It's like first through 5th grade, then high school, on to college. You in the audience, who have started off, and then there's this few of us old timers that are, what can I say? This year's award winner for the Duvernay Award is one of the giants in our industry in Michigan. I have known her for many, many years, worked with her on many, many projects. She is just incredible. I'm going to give a little bit of history, because even though a lot of us have known her, she has done a lot of stuff before she got to Michigan. She graduated from Spelman College in Atlanta, traveled with her husband during his Peace Corps years. I did not know that. She did a lot of work in Washington, D.C., in neighborhood and commercial revitalization. Did come to Detroit in the 1980s, worked for the Detroit Economic Growth Corporation. Did not know that either. She and I first crossed paths when she worked for Mayor Archer when she did the Detroit Successful Empowerment Zone application. And at that time, Jim Logue was leading the state effort in doing that. Jim spent a lot of nights in Detroit. She became the senior program director in Detroit when LISC was first created. I think you heard me say in the first day when Tahira Ziegler did the the presentation that when LISC was coming into Michigan, they called Terry Duvernay, of all people, and said, we want to come into Michigan. And he says, great, I want you to come into Michigan, I want you to come into Detroit. These are two places we really need your help. And so Doug Shelby and I went down and met with a group, and we also met with Evelyn. And so it was about, hey, this sounds really good to us, and it's history in the making. During her time with LISC, she had oversight responsibilities for programs in Detroit, Lansing, and Kalamazoo, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans, in the Mid-South Delta. After Hurricane Corrie and Wilma, she was responsible for LISC Gulf Region Building Initiative and brought in some $180 million in loans and grants. It was an incredible undertaking. And you know, the kind of thing that just shows the kind of dedication she has. On behalf of the Duvernay Award Committee, I'd like to present this year's award to Evelyn Brown. Evelyn?
Maybe it's not the best professional way to say this, but this is so cool. I just love it. You know, first of all, I want to thank the committee for selecting me for this award. This is very special to me. You heard from a number of others who talked about my good friend and former colleague, Terry Duvernay, but Terry was an inspiration to all of us. He showed the kind of compassion and sensitivity to the needs of low-income families and especially children. And he was a leader in this field, literally from New Orleans to Washington, D.C., to Seattle, to Michigan, to Georgia. As people have indicated earlier, he is well known in this field. When I think about Terry, there's a lot of good memories that come to mind, but I always like to share one that probably is unique among all the other people who've had his job. When the restaurant in downtown Detroit, the Pegasus, was being conceived by the developers, the idea was to bring a Cajun restaurant to Detroit. So, of course, Terry Duvernay went down to New Orleans to interview the chefs because he said Detroit deserved a real Cajun restaurant. So, you know, that's just the kind of special thing about Terry. But I believe what was most inspiring is that he always looked at the best in people and the possibilities of doing good and doing well. And that is a legacy, I think, that many people have carried from just being associated with him. It's unfortunate that there's so many of you in this room who will never know a Terry Duvernay, or at least our Terry Duvernay, but there will be somebody in our lives who will give us the same kind of leadership, guidance, and the ability to look on the bright side. The work that we do, that you all do together, is extremely hard. And I remember days when I said, my God, will we ever get it right? Will we ever solve the problem? And then I'd step back and say, well, did we do good today? Did we do something that made somebody's lives better? And each one of you in this room have done that year in and year out. And so I applaud all of you for the work that you do. This is just awesome, people. You know, I mean, my relationship with Terry, as I say, goes back to when he was the chief administrative officer in New Orleans, and going back there post-Katrina and talking to so many people who knew and loved Terry just as much as all of us do. So it's hard to sort of beat that. I want to commend people in this room, and in particular MSHDA. You know, some of us have had opportunities to work with other state housing agencies over the years, and I've always been sort of taken aback that not everybody was like MSHDA. Most people did sort of the common thing. They issued bonds, they did the tax credits, but very few were visionary to reach out and say, how do we improve those communities in which we do housing? So I think that in part is owed to Terry, to Jim Lowe, and now Gary Heidel, so I want to thank them. I want to give a shout out to all my LISC family and to all the wonderful people in this room that I've had an opportunity to work with in the 20 years that I've been here. At the end of the day, you know, resources will come and go, but what's going to make us stronger and better and more effective is committed people who see that vision of success in the future and continue to strive to get there. So thank you. This is just awesome.
This is yours too.
What a great picture.
I want to make one announcement. The award committee has decided to change the way we've been doing the Duvernay Award. So beginning right away for next year, we're going to do it a little bit different than we've been doing it. The way we've been doing it is the committee gets together and we kind of talk among ourselves and who are the pioneers and the giants in our industry, and we make talk about them and then maybe do a little digging, and that's how we come up with the winner. What we want to do is go to a different format next year. We're going to, because it's actually getting very, very difficult. There's so many good people who are deserving of the award. So we're going to go to an application process in which anybody who thinks they know somebody, or they see good work being done and they think this is a person that really deserves to be considered for the Duvernay Award, to be considered. The application we'll be putting together and it'll be public. It's going to require some detailed information. This is not going to be something easy. It won't be as difficult as a tax credit application, I promise. Might be something more akin to a MSHDA sponsorship grant and a tax credit allocation, somewhere in between. But we really want to get at your feelings about who the people are out there. Sometimes, and this is very, very Terry, it's not just the people who run a statewide organization, we all know them. Sometimes it's someone up in a particular part of Michigan who's really transforming what's going on in that area. And so the rest of us may not know who that is. And so it's really time to really think about doing that. So it'll be the responsibility of the award committee to be able to field those applications. We'll sit down, we'll look at them, and then we'll make the award that way. I want to take this opportunity to thank two members of the committee who've been doing yeoman's work, but will no longer be a part of the committee. And that's Jim Logue and Mark McDaniel. They have been doing great work, but we're going to leave this decision up to the former Duvernay Award winners because they're, well, frankly, they can't be eligible for the award anymore. And they all know what it means because they've received the award. And so, Mark and Jim are fine with this. I talked to them about it. Cost me, I think, it cost me the picture of me in MSU garb. So it was hard, and I'll be the first to say that picture is out in the Great Lakes booth. You can see it. It's probably the last time, well, no, probably not the last time, because I'm probably going to lose every year in the Art of Leadership thing. I do have the solace to know that Mark McDaniel is dressed up in Michigan garb from the year before. So there's a little retribution of that. So that's what we're going to start doing from now on. We look forward to any of you submitting an application for somebody who you feel has done a great job and is someone that deserves to be considered for the award. It's not going to be easy, though. So Thank you very much.
We were done with the lunch thing. I appreciate your patience. We've gone a teeny bit over, but hopefully the sessions will just be getting started. And there are a couple of receptions and events going on tonight, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Thank you.